Okay, I've tacked on the piping cord, and now we're going to put the back of the cushion on. I'd just like to show you where I've put the piping cord on, and I've done a size 4 stitch right the way around the outside, quite close to the edge, and as I've gone round the corner, you can see where I clip the edges. It goes round the corner quite nicely, and then what I've done is I've cut the corners off all 4 of the corners of the cushion, just so that when you turn it inside out you haven't got so much bulk in the corners. Where I've overlapped the piping cord, what I found was that it had missed, it had pulled out, and it had missed sewing it to the actual front of the cushion. So I just turned it over and re-sewed it just along that couple of inches, just to make sure that it's held there in place. So now we're going to put the back on. So we put the back face down, and this is the time when you have to remember to undo the zip. So what we're doing is we're putting the back on in exactly the same way as we put the piping cord on. So we've laid it over, and we're going to pin all the way round the edge. Again, I've done it vertically. I am right-handed, so I work from the right-hand side with the pins pointing upwards, so that as you're sewing it you can pull the pins out easily. Once you've pinned both the bottom half and you've come above the zip, that is the time to open the zip, because if you don't open the zip now and you've sewn all 4 sides, you'll find you won't be able to open it. So just push it together. If you want to pin it in place, that certainly doesn't hurt. I'll put a couple of pins in just each side of the zip, just to keep it in place, so that you don't think that you've got more material than you have. Keep the edges in line with each other, and I'll just finish pinning this. Where's my tissue? I use this machine, is a Pfaff, which has its own built-in walking foot, which for things like this is really, really handy. I'm not sure that your walking foot would work on this, because it's such a narrow seam that you're sewing. No, it wouldn't, because you've got your zipper foot on. Disregard that. As I say, I'm lucky that I can still use my walking foot even with the zipper foot on. You'll need a 14 needle to get through all these layers. There we go. And this one here, okay, So now we're going to sew it. Once again, tuck your presser foot up nice and close to the piping cord, and if you can move your needle, I like to move my needle across, so I've actually moved it 3 places so that it's even closer. I'm just going to get the lid to put my pins in. There we go. When you get to the corner, just ease it round. I've got my needle in the down position so that every time you stop, your needle's down and your work doesn't move. Take it easy when you go across the piping cord because it's quite thick. last corner. There we go. And there we have our finished cushion. I'm going to snip those corners off, the same as I did before. And then turn it inside out. Open the rest of the zip. Push the corners out with your finger. Just check that they've all been caught in the stitching. There you can see the way the piping cord is caught into the bottom of the cushion, and now it just leaves me to take out the tacking. There's lots of different ways of making cushions these days. I'm sure you'll find lots on YouTube. Pie crust cushions and cushions with ties on the back and buttons on the front and all sorts. The other cushion that I made with in the Full Circles workshop, I'm going to do in the same way, but I'm going to put a frill round it instead of the piping cord, which is done in a very similar, the construction of the cushion is the same, but you just make a double frill to go around the outside. I'll get rid of those bits later on. Oh, and there we have our finished cushion cover, all ready to have its pad put in. I hope you've enjoyed learning how to construct a cushion.